Breaking news about the iPass Center in Drogheda that was burned out with over 30 residents in there displaced. It is said and announced yesterday by the mainstream media that the two men held in this attack, this arson attack, are linked to a Boylan organized crime group. They are not far right. Let me reiterate that. They are linked to a organized crime group, a gang feud that's actually happening in Louth, in Drogheda. I believe it's actually extending to other parts of the country as well, but they are not far right. The mainstream media and Paul Murphy, of course, claimed that the far right tried to burn babies alive, like just whole crazy rhetoric, this whole crazy narrative that the left wing were trying to spin is completely false. I knew it, guys. We knew it from the beginning, obviously. This is linked to a man, the opposite gang member, the boss man, who literally owns this iPass Center. He's getting paid millions and millions of euro by the Irish government, which actually has been cut off as of yesterday. We're going to get onto that article in a second. But he was paid millions, and it was basically fueling this gang war. You know, the government, Irish government, were basically giving this guy money who was potentially buying drugs, buying guns. God knows what he was buying. He was in the midst of a flipping gang war, so it could have been anything, right? It says, the arrested males who are associates of the Boylan organized crime group, allegedly headed by two brothers, Keith, 30 years old, and Josh Boylan, 26, have been described as low-level drug dealers in the town. So in my personal opinion, along with a lot of other people on X, I believe all these ministers in Dublin should be prosecuted, okay? They're making knowingly false claims about things like these gang members being right-wing. You know, we had loads of different people, Paul Murphy, we had all these other TDs in the Dáil saying this is far right. This is a slander on the basically conservative movement, the right-wing movement that's coming into Ireland now, that's sweeping across the world. But these people should be absolutely criminally charged if they're trying to knowingly make false reports or statements that show the offense has been committed. Something like that, that's such a major egregious act, trying to paint this more conservative people as these far-right lunatics that want to burn babies out of their homes. This is terrible slander. This is horrendous slander. So look at this next story, guys. It says government terminates the contract with Drogheda iPass Center subject to arson attack. So a rogue landlord linked to the Drogheda gang feud had operated the Drogheda iPass Center and paid millions, basically providing asylum seeker accommodation to these people. Obviously, this is the EU, UN human trafficking racket. It's a flipping human racket. It is what it is, guys. You know, it's like war. War is a racket. You know, this human trafficking is a racket. This is all just to make money, guys. It's a scam, right? And now the government have finally terminated that contract. Thank God, guys, because they're basically funding a flipping gang war. Now, while all this craziness is going on in Drogheda, we have a separate incident that the mainstream media tried to label, also trying to discredit the far-right people. It says here, the Gardai foil far-right terror plot as immigrant community believed to be targeted. Now, this is a completely separate incident, and also these people here aren't Irish. We're going to talk about it now in a second. So it says here, Gardai believe they have foiled a potential far-right attack on the immigrant community. Two men were arrested in Laois while PSNI raided a house in County Down where they allegedly found explosives. So this is, like I said, completely separate to the other incident that I just talked about, but they're trying to link the two. Literally, wait for this, guys. The neighborhood had to be evacuated as the bomb squad were called in. But if you look at EU Interpol statistics, basically Interpol is the FBI of Europe. You can see that 80% of arrests are from far left dissident groups, whereas only 2% of arrests are from far right people. These are actual statistics you can just Google. It says the Gardai and the PSNI, which is the Northern Irish Police Force, the UK police basically, coordinated the raids on Wednesday. So just yesterday. This is the first time in the state's history that suspected members of the far right have been detained under terror laws. So this is, like I said, the first time ever we've had anyone that's far right that's been arrested in this country. That'll tell you how little the far right actually commit these atrocities or acts, or potential acts. It says Gardai struggle to contain the rise of homegrown fascist groups. Now this is from extra.ie, a super left-wing organization. Why would they be struggling to contain the rise of homegrown fascist groups? How would they? Okay, the biggest groups are flipping left-wing crazy nutcases, guys. That's the biggest flipping people that actually are putting the lives of people in Europe in danger. We have actual statistics. This is just bullshit made up by extra.ie. In a statement by Gardai, they said they seized several items after pulling over a vehicle in County Laois. Extra.ie, which is bullshit themselves. They understand that equipment used to craft pipe bombs as well as a stab-proof jacket, hatchets, and zip ties were all discovered in the vehicle. Similar to the items discovered in the vehicle of Catherine Connolly's friend, okay? She was elected president, all right? Electronic devices were also confiscated, and they will now be forensically examined. An Irish flag was also in the vehicle, security sources said. Oh, an Irish flag was in the vehicle. Everybody has Irish flags in their cars now. It's just like a patriotic thing to do now. These two men were arrested in their 30s and 40s. Same sources told the newspaper that the member of the special detective unit had been monitoring far-right extremists, and the Gardai had been liaising with the PSNI regarding their activities. Officers believe that communications between the far-right groups and north and south of the border have been ongoing for several months, and that items seized in Laois were to be used to terrorize minorities. God, how they actually can predict this, how they actually can say this. I'd love to see some actual evidence for this, but hopefully they actually give us the evidence for this, right? It says one security source says that the officers whose sole job is to gather intelligence on these people, and then they act on that intelligence. The cooperation with the PSNI is also key here. These Gardai believe that their potential targets were chosen due to their religion. Whoa. So what flipping people were they targeting? Were they targeting Muslim, Jewish people? Who were they targeting? The sources added that officers, thinking that there were only to be attacks on minorities on both sides of the border. On Wednesday night, PSNI officers raided a house in the village. 4 suspected devices were discovered in the garden home, leading to evacuation of several homes in the area. Look at this, guys. Exactly how they're trying to link the two people, right? The news comes after the arrest of 2 men in their 20s over a fire attack in an iPass centre in Drogheda, County Louth. They were due to appear before Drogheda District Court last night. But the attack in Drogheda had nothing to do with the far right. You see, this is how the mainstream media are portraying the people now. They're literally scumbags, guys. They're trying to portray it like they're both far right attacks, and they're not. The men that attacked the place in Drogheda were doing it because they were part of a gang feud, being paid millions by the government. Then they go on to talk about this anti-immigrant violence erupted outside City West Asylum in Dublin last week. They're just talking about all the riots and everything that happened, but they don't talk about the 10-year-old that was sexually assaulted by a 26-year-old migrant that was not supposed to be here. He was supposed to be deported 8 months prior. So they're just scumbags leaving out key news. It's ridiculous. Furthermore, look at this. It says the 2 suspects, aged 34 and 38, were under surveillance. One of them is from the north. Okay, so it's Northern Irish, British maybe, who knows. It doesn't say what actual race the person is though, so it could be from anywhere. He might not be white. And the other man is thought to not be Irish. So both of them aren't Irish. Both of them aren't from the Republic of Ireland. But the article is making it seem, that from the extra.ie, is making it seem like they're both far-right attacks by Irish people, when they're not. On top of that, look at this news story. It says a man here who assaulted 4 Gardai and threatened to bomb the Gardai station was spared jail. He didn't even get to go to jail. I mean, how crazy is this? It says here, Joseph Urbanski pleaded guilty to 7 charges, including threatening to damage property, assault, and threatening or abusive language in a public place. He was convicted for threatening to bomb Killarney Gardai station. Killarney, imagine, like, on social media, and assaulting 4 Gardai on April 28th, 2024 at New Road, Killarney. So he literally threatened to bomb, he's literally threatened to carry out terrorist attacks on the flipping Gardai station, to blow up the whole flipping Gardai station on social media. He's saying it publicly. And he assaulted 4 Gardai. But they gave him a suspended sentence. But look at this, guys. Judge Waters sentenced Mr. Urbanski to 5 months for threatening to damage property, suspended for 2 years on a fine of €200. So he got what? He got €200 and it was suspended. So he walks free. He was also fined €250 for each assault, taking into account of public order charges. Urbanski has prior drug offenses also. 2-tier justice, if you ask me, guys. Absolutely 100%. I mean, everyone on X is agreement with all this crazy news stories, guys. I mean, this is just basic news stories that is coming out from the mainstream media. And they're not highlighting these stories whatsoever. Ridiculous. Just to finish off about the Gardai foiling the far-right terror plot as immigrant community believed to be targeted. Just to finish off about that, that news story was posted everywhere. Like, literally, there's been like 50 articles. There's been like 20 articles written about it. Whereas all the other stuff, Mr. Urbanski and all these other people that were foreign criminals and stuff, they don't have any articles written about them. None. Zero. Zilch. So this is how the mainstream media convert and brainwash people. It's ridiculous, guys. I won't stand for it. I'm going to keep pushing back every single day. They screwed up, guys. The mainstream media and the Irish government screwed up when they woke up patriots like myself and other people. They're in a hole now they can't get out of. I love you all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for just €3 per month. We have new members every single day, so I really appreciate it, guys. Numbers building all the time, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.